Let me ask you a question. Every single year, the same events show up on the calendar. Christmas, back to school, a birthday, an anniversary, a vacation, a family reunion, and every single year the same thing happens. The event arrives and the money doesn't. So what do? We put it on a credit card, we pull from savings, we stress, we scramble, we borrow, and then we spend the first 2 or 3 months of the new year trying to recover from the last 2 or 3 months of the old one. Sound familiar? Here's what I want you to understand. The event didn't sneak up on you. Christmas has been on December 25th your entire life. Back to school has always been in August. Your anniversary has always been on the same date. The problem isn't the event. The problem is that we never prepared a financial container for it. And today, I'm going to give you a system so simple that once you hear it, you'll wonder why nobody ever taught you this before. I call it the 13th month strategy. Now, most financial advice will tell you to just put money in savings for the holidays. And that sounds great in theory, but here's what actually happens. You put $200 in savings in January with the best intentions. Then February comes and your car needs a repair. And you tell yourself, I'll just borrow from the Christmas fund and put it back. But you never put it back because life keeps happening. And by November, the savings account is empty and the holiday is 2 weeks away. The problem with just save it is that savings accounts are visible and accessible. When money is visible and accessible, it is vulnerable. It is vulnerable to emergencies. It is vulnerable to impulse. It is vulnerable to, I'll put it back later. So instead of fighting human nature, we are going to work with it. We are going to hide the money in plain sight. Here is the system I have personally used for years. Instead of putting extra money into a savings account, I prepay my bills. Let me walk you through the exact math. Take your smaller, consistent monthly bills, things like your water bill, your cable or streaming services, your phone, or your light bill. These are bills that show up every single month like clockwork. Now let's use the light bill as an example. Let's say your light bill is $120 a month. Step 1, multiply that by 12. That's $1,140 for the year. That is what you pay for your light bill in a full year. Step 2, now divide that annual total by 11 instead of 12. Lausaz 440. 11 so 130, 91. Step 3, from January through November, instead of paying $120 a month, you pay $130, $91. That is a difference of only $10,991 a month, less than $11. Now here is what happens in December. Your light bill is already paid. You have paid 12 months of your light bill in 11 months. And that $120, that would have gone to the light company, it stays in your pocket. Now do that with your water bill. Do that with your phone bill. Do that with your cable. If you apply this strategy to just 4 bills, you could walk into December with an extra $400 to $600 that is already accounted for, already guilt-free and already yours. No credit card, no savings withdrawal, no stress. There is a psychological principle called friction. In behavioral economics, friction refers to the resistance that makes a behavior harder to do. When money is in a savings account, the friction is low. It is easy to access. It is easy to justify. It is easy to borrow. But when money is prepaid to a utility company, the friction is extremely high. You cannot call the light company and say, "Can I have my December payment back? I need to buy tires." That money is locked in purpose. It is no longer a temptation because it is no longer accessible. This is why the strategy works where just save it often fails. You are not relying on willpower. You are relying on structure. And structure always outlasts willpower. Proverbs 6:6-8 says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest." The ant doesn't wait for the winter to arrive before it starts preparing. It prepares in the season of abundance for the season of need. That is exactly what this strategy does. From January through November, you are in your summer. You are earning, you are working, you are providing. And in that season, You are quietly, consistently, and strategically preparing for December so that when December arrives, you are not scrambling. You're ready. That is not just financial wisdom. That is kingdom wisdom. Wait, before we go any further, I want to step behind the curtain for a second. You've probably noticed that you're looking at an AI-generated version of me. I made this choice very intentionally. As a wife, a mother, and a kingdom builder, my most valuable resource is time. And I know yours is too. By using this technology, I'm able to be a better steward of that time, delivering high-level training to you much faster and more consistently. Make no mistake, every word, every strategy, and every scripture comes directly from my heart and my real-life experience. I'm doing this to serve you better. Now let's get back to the message. There is a principle that says, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. But in the kingdom, we don't rely on luck. We rely on positioning. The law of preparation states that the resources you need in a future season must be planted in the current season. You cannot harvest in December what you did not plant in January. This strategy is simply the financial application of that law. You are planting 1091 yarn a month in January so that you can harvest $120 in December. That is not a sacrifice. That is a seed. I want to speak to the person who is watching this and thinking, I barely have enough to pay the bill as it is. How am I supposed to pay extra? I hear you, and I want to be honest. This strategy works best when your budget is already organized. But even if you can only apply this to one bill, do it. Even if the only bill you can prepay is your $30 streaming service, do it. Because the habit of intentional preparation is more valuable than the dollar amount. You are training your mind to think like a builder. You are training your habits to work like a system. And systems compound over time. Start with one bill, then add another, then another. By year 2, this strategy will feel effortless. By year 3, it will feel like you're normal. Now, this strategy is one piece of a much larger system. Because here's the truth. Knowing how to prepay your bills is powerful. But knowing how to position your entire financial life is transformational. If you want to go deeper, if you want the full 7-step system that covers mindset, budgeting, credit, protection, real estate, investment, and expansion, I have a full masterclass waiting for you. It is called the Kingdom Wealth Blueprint, and it is the exact system I am using right now to build a multi-unit real estate portfolio, protect my family's legacy, and ensure that money is never the reason I can't move when God tells me to move. The link is below. Watch it when you are ready to stop surviving and start positioning, because you are not broke, you are just out of position. And that is something we can fix. I'll see you in the masterclass.